What the is that? Welcome to
Delinquent Speed
Shop, where we don't know how to work
anything.
Welcome to Delinquent Speed Shop, where bad decisions turn into great builds. Today, you're meeting Ralph, our soon-to-be tow truck that we are building out of a crappy old dump truck and a whole lot of redneck engineering. Oh, our budget? Do you take trades? Because we're not even coming close to what this would normally cost. So if you want to see how we pull this off without taking out a second mortgage or killing each other, stick around because this one is going to be a wild ride. Somewhere in East Texas, down an old farm road, right next to the creek where I ate my first live minnow. Ooh, look at this hole. That's cool. Anyways, sorry. Right. A 1955 Ford F600 sits like a rust-covered relic, just waiting for someone to come along and bring him back to life. Welcome sign is still there from our wedding. And don't get me wrong, Ralph makes a great photo prop, but I don't know anyone in their right mind that would take on his restoration, honestly.
We're in Tyler, Texas right now. We're headed out to my family farm to get Ralph.
Well, except us, apparently. This pile of metal and lumber has been in my family since the 90s when my dad traded an old Alice Chalmers B tractor for him. And as far as I can recall, he has sat in this same spot ever since one of my dad's buddies tried to get it to run and then just left out the plugs, effectively inviting Mother Nature to help lock up his motor solid. We started calling him Ralph because of the literal name tag painted on the door, but we recently found out that was just his last owner's name.
I'm called Ralph!
There's no doubt about it, the years have taken their toll. Poor Ralph looks like he's been through a divorce, a fire, and at least 3 hurricanes. So, obviously, when Josh laid eyes on this masterpiece, his engineering gears spun faster than a caffeinated ceiling fan. After all, rust is lighter than carbon fiber, right, honey?
Live.
Alright, my scrap metal messiah, where do we start?
We're gonna try to get the under control better.
I think what the Reverend of Rust is saying is that we need to get all the shit off the truck so we can get it out. How about a little motivational music? That went by faster than I expected. Well, since we're fresh out of tow trucks, we're playing the waiting game until one can make it out to the farm. But as soon as our chariot arrives, Ralph will be busting out of the retirement home for the first time in at least 25 years and heading to the big city. What do you call a truck with no body and no nose? Nobody knows. And moving on. Oh look, it's Gold Truck. This is one of Josh's daily drivers, and it's actually his granddad's old truck that he restored a while ago. We've got some pretty cool things coming up for him, so make sure you're following our channel to see more of this heartbreaker later. Let's get back to work. Josh, what's next?
My general plan is I'm gonna go take Forklift and use my super duper secret hooking onto that part device to up that part.
Wait, what?
Me and Bill are gonna go to work.
By the way, this is Bill. He's our forklift, but you should call him William until you get to know him. With Bill's assistance, our somewhat thought-out plan is basically just to get a big-ass strap, loop it through the windows, and yank the cab right off the frame. And let's go ahead and get this out of the way. We do some things in creative and unique ways, but rarely are they what anyone's mother would consider safe. So please use caution and your own common sense and choose your consequences wisely, because I promise you we do. Anyways, let's get this cab off. During the removal, we're trying to salvage as much of Ralph as we can, and we're paying close attention to his brake and clutch pedals since we're hoping to reuse them. So we're going for a slow motion liftoff. We're gonna lift up his cab just a little, which honestly scared the crap out of me for some reason.
Okay. I mean, it's moving. It's good. It just scared me. I don't know.
And then we're going to try to persuade the cab mounts to disconnect using two of our favorite tools, fire and violence, or what I like to call the hot and spicy special. Once those are freed up, good old Bill will lift up a little more so I can push the pedals through the hole in the floor.
Yo, you got it. Go, go, go. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Now we're grabbing our fanciest tow strap, which was definitely the one we could find, and threading it through the cab to give Bill something to hold on to. His reach was a little short, so we engineered an extension, aka the trailer ramp, since our extensions were actually at the house. But after a few noises that seemed to be the ramp saying, "Warning," we thought we should use something that's safer when we pick up this really heavy thing in the air.
Look, if one ramp isn't enough, 2 ramps might be enough.
We were somewhat confident this would work. I mean, you don't know if you don't try, right?
I'm in danger!
Ralph swaying in the wind seemed like it might be a bad thing, so with the help of our buddy Caesar, we added another very sturdy safety strap, for safety. And much to our delight and surprise, our safety measures seemed to be doing their job. Unfortunately, we did have to delete the shifter using the circular spicy. But where in the world will we get another stick of random metal?
About to be diesel day in the sky, madam. Here we go. There we go. You good? Yeah. All right, backing it up. Hey, go up a little more. Spin it around. There you go. Back up.
And we have liftoff. For the time being, the cab's gonna go into storage for a little vacay. And now, we get to tell you what we're putting it on. Cue the smokestacks, roll out those super singles, and welcome to the stage, Ralph the Wrecker. Remember when we didn't seem to be fazed by that old farm truck's motor being locked up? Yeah, this is why. This big boy is a low-mileage 1982 International S1900 that Josh picked up for only $3,200. And you might be thinking, that's exactly what it looks like it's worth. But if you know what you're doing, you understand that looks are very deceiving. Here's the actual reason we picked this box truck up for Ralph's transplant. Hiding under the hood is a DTI 466 International straight-six engine with less than 40,000 miles on it and already came with a factory air-to-water intercooler. And then Josh installed a shiny new turbo he traded an old gun for. Add in the 5-speed transmission and Spicer rear end and you have the bones for a potentially indestructible beast, which is exactly what we're going for. Also, if the apocalypse does come, all we really need is some used motor oil and old gas to make the goes, because that is Ralph's diet. Speaking of what he's on, Josh has already done an axle swap and installed hydraulic disc brakes, put super singles on the back, and is now working on getting out koas all the way around. And obviously, he had to have some badass smokestacks. That way, when we crank up the injection pump... Oh, yeah. I should also mention, those stacks are actually just Corvette side pipes someone was throwing out for $0, our favorite. Just look at how happy he is. Alright, we've got our cab, we've got our box truck. What is missing? Oh yeah, the bed. You remember Bill, our forklift, right? No, we didn't go psycho and just rip Bill to pieces. This is actually his long-lost brother we found on Marketplace for $1,000, and then ripped him to pieces. Although another forklift is never a bad thing, we didn't actually care about the majority of him. We only needed a couple things for his uppy-downy thing, as Josh calls it. You starting to get it yet?
So, what do we have here?
A big-ass mess is what we really have, honestly. So, more or less, this is a mast off of a shitty old forklift. These are like big-ass drawers, right? And they got like roller deals. We're gonna put this inside Ralph's frame, and it's gonna do drawer stuff. So I'm actually cutting the body of the forklift up right next to the gas tank, because that's where it's at. That gas tank right there is pretty sweet because it's a second hydraulic tank in case I want to add more shit like a wheel lift to this. That way I can put a car on Ralph and then Ralph can scoopy another car and just travel away. We're going to take that there and delete the wheel parts and insert that into rollback truck, up, down, left, right, Batman symbol.
Sometimes the words aren't important. We just have faith in our rust resurrectionist. Clearly, Josh was able to get the fuel tank off with a little help from Caesar. Stick around to the end and I'll show you more about that, and trust me, it's worth it. We've got a ton more to share about our rollback wrecker named Ralph, but unfortunately you'll have to wait till the next episode. We need a shower. So stay tuned and follow Delinquent Speed Shop to get inspired for your next project, or at the very least be entertained watching our adventures on the struggle bus. Now, as promised, here's your little treat. If you've made it this far, you deserve it. See you next time.
Flaquito Gil en el beat.
And why are we doing this? Because every 5-year-old needs a tow truck to tow his NASCAR